He betrayed me with another woman, but she wasn't just a mistress. She was already married, and I used it to destroy them. Hello, my name is Selena. I am 29-year-old. I have always believed betrayal is not born in an instant. It creeps, it breeds, it grows in shadows until the day you finally see its face. For me, that face was my husband's and worse, the woman who stood beside him. My name is Elena, and I once believed in love, in loyalty, in the sanctity of vows whispered before God and family. I believed in the life we had built, our home, our future. I believed in him. But belief can be a curse when placed in unworthy hands. It began subtly. His late returns, the lingering smell of perfume that wasn't mine, the silences between us that seemed heavier than any words. At first, I told myself it was work, that I was imagining things. But a woman's heart knows when something sacred is breaking. The truth came on a Thursday evening. I found his phone left carelessly on the nightstand. It vibrated once, a name glowing on the screen, Isabel. My blood froze. The message read, "Same place tomorrow? I need you." I remember staring at those words until my vision blurred. The room spun, but I stood still, clutching the device like a dagger lodged in my palm. Betrayal doesn't kill you at once, it bleeds you slowly, cruelly. I didn't confront him immediately. Instead, I followed. The next evening, while he thought I was dining with a friend, I waited outside the hotel near the harbor. My eyes found him before my mind accepted it. My husband walked in, his hand resting gently on the back of a woman, slender, elegant, with hair cascading like dark silk. She laughed as though she owned the world. That was Isabel. The sound of their laughter carved through me like glass. I stood rooted, my heart a battlefield of rage and despair. Every instinct screamed to storm inside, to shatter their illusion, to tear their world apart. But I didn't, not yet. Revenge, I knew, was best served with patience. For weeks I watched. I learned. Isabel was not just a passing fling, she was deliberate, meticulous. She met him with secrecy, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of conquest. I studied her from afar, the way a hunter studies prey, and then fate delivered me a weapon. It was a chance encounter. One evening, while trailing her discreetly through the market square, I saw her pause. A man approached, tall, broad-shouldered, with the unmistakable intimacy of a lover in his gaze. My pulse quickened. They spoke briefly, too close to familiar. When he kissed her cheek, something in me stirred. I followed her again the next day, and the truth unraveled. Isabel was no free woman. She was married to a man named Victor. My husband's mistress was a wife herself. The revelation set fire to my veins. Betrayal had many faces, but this was worse. It was a nest of vipers. She had stolen from me while hiding her own vows in the dark. Suddenly, I no longer saw myself as the broken wife. I saw myself as executioner. I began my quiet war. I gathered proof. I hired a discreet investigator who supplied me with photographs, Isabel with my husband, Isabel with her own, the threads of her double life stitched together in damning detail. I built my arsenal slowly, methodically, until the weight of her secrets was enough to crush her. But revenge must not only punish, it must humiliate. It must expose. I planned her downfall like a composer writing a symphony. The stage would be her anniversary party with Victor, a grand celebration she had been boasting about, where friends, family, and colleagues would gather to toast her perfect marriage. A perfect marriage that was nothing but a lie. The night arrived. I attended, invited through careful manipulation, posing as a friend of a friend. The hall glittered with lights, music swelling in the background. Isabel moved through the crowd, like a queen, radiant in her gown, her smile wide enough to hide every sin. My husband was not there. How could he be, when his presence would tear the mask too soon? At the peak of the evening, when glasses were raised and speeches filled the air, I made my move. The lights dimmed for a presentation Victor had arranged, a tribute to their years together. But when the projector flickered, it wasn't his carefully prepared slideshow that appeared. It was mine. Photographs flashed onto the screen. Isabel, her hand entwined with my husband's. Isabel, entering hotels in the dead of night. Isabel, kissing him with abandon while her wedding band glinted under streetlights. Gasps rippled through the hall, whispers swelling into a storm. And then, the final blow. Isabel with my husband, and Isabel with Victor side by side. Proof of her treachery laid bare before all who mattered. Victor stood frozen, the glass slipping from his hand and shattering against the floor. Isabel's face drained of color, her body rigid as if struck by lightning. The room erupted, some in shock, others in scorn. The queen had been dethroned, her crown shattered publicly. I stood in the back, watching, silent, my heart thundering with dark satisfaction. This was no outburst, no crude confrontation. This was justice painted across the canvas of her life. In front of every soul she had deceived, Victor left her that night. Her family turned away. Her reputation, once polished, lay in ruins. My husband came home pale, trembling, begging forgiveness, but I looked at him as though he were already a ghost. I had destroyed his mistress, and in doing so I had destroyed him too. And me? I did not weep. I did not break. I walked away from them both, my steps steady, my heart reborn. Betrayal had sought to shatter me, but instead it forged me into steel. Some nights, I still see Isabel's face when the lights exposed her sins, that flicker of horror when the mask slipped from her hands. It is not joy I feel, nor sorrow. It is peace, because vengeance, when earned, is not merely revenge. It is balance restored, and I restored it with fire. Thanks for watching.